How many questions? The same thing. Put out content, put out a great product, test things, try it all, use data, use your intuition, test and learn, test and learn, test and learn. And this just insane lack of patience and lack of understanding that takes actual skills to actually win is frustrating at times. What does a local business need to do to get customers? You need to have a great product. You need to make people that could potentially buy your product know about it. You can do that through content. You can do that through advertising. You can do that by going to the Chamber of Commerce. You can do that by fucking cold calling every single business in town. Like, fuck, man. There's just so many ways to do it. But one way not to do it is to watch my videos and read Seth Godin's books and ponder and strategize and whiteboard all day and debate with your brother and wonder why. Like, lack of action is one way not to do it. One thing I'm doing is I'm constantly in motion. I'm constantly in motion. I'm changing my products. I'm changing my game. I'm changing all the time. I'm redoing my pitch deck for VaynerMedia. I've got different ideas of how to sell it. Fucking learn how to love losing. Learn how to love losing like I do. You know why I'm not scared of testing? Because I don't fear the loss. I don't fear people laughing at me. Fucking laugh at me. Go ahead, laugh at me. I don't give a fuck. Try to laugh at me. Laugh at me with your opinions. Let's talk results. You know, can you laugh at me? People that are beating me. Zucks, you're allowed to laugh. Elon, you're allowed to laugh. Saka, laugh at me. You're loud. If you're not beating me, don't fucking laugh. People are scared. People are scared. People are scared of trying new things. People are students. You're students. You're not a fucking entrepreneur. You're a student. You're a student. All you want to do is read and consume and ponder and make pretend and talk about how you're gonna. Fuck you're gonna. Go do it. You can only read so much. You have to do. I'm an extreme. Maybe I'm different. I don't learn that way. I don't read anything. That's not right. But is it right to read all of them? Shit. How many fucking books from these experts do you need? Do shit. Learn. Put in the work. Don't fucking have dinner at 7 o'clock and drink 2 beers and have the fucking Spurs Golden State game in the background with your 2 buddies and tell each other how you're gonna do it while you're fucking sitting there how you're gonna do it and dapping. I haven't seen fucking Steph Curry hit a basket this year. My biggest goal is I have no fans. That my fans learn from me and get inspired from me and then don't consume me. I don't care how big my subscription numbers are or how many people follow me. I don't want you here. I never want to hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I don't want you here. I don't need it. I don't need that. I need to make an impact. I want the legacy of you coming up to me. Last night at my meetup, the 400 people, 300 people showed up. 40 of them whispered in my ear, "You changed my life." That's what I get off on. Not them still buying my books or buying my courses or being a VaynerMedia client. I want legacy. I've made enough money. I'm good. I'm great. If I don't make a single dollar again, great. I don't need to buy the jets. I need to try to buy the jets. That's a distinction. I want legacy. I want you to show up to my funeral because you watched a Facebook live stream when I was in San Diego and I ranted and I finally kicked your ass into gear and you realized no more reading, no more consuming, time to do. Try to put your fears into action. Great, you go over 70. I love when people don't hire us. You're moving, you're constantly moving. Like, that's how you have to do it. You just can't just think and ponder and read Medium and wonder and watch 1 more book and order 10 more Udemy courses and go to 4 more fucking conferences. Enough listening, start doing shit. Don't be scared. Like, it's action, it's going, it's doing.
Hello, I'm very, very excited to be here today. This is my first time in Wollongong. In fact, I didn't know you this place existed, and it is absolutely beautiful. And in fact, coming into town, reminded me a lot of coming into, although on a bigger scale, the Sunshine Coast. So there you go. Anyway, who's excited about Facebook marketing or what it can do for your business? Excellent, great, that's most of the room, so you're all in the right place. Here's the deal, there's a couple of things that are going to happen here over the next 75 minutes. One is I'm going to speak with a Kiwi accent. I can't change it. I'll get fish and chips and 6 out of the way straight away, okay? Great. Sweet as, bro. Cheer. The second thing is I actually will laugh at my own jokes, but I like it when you laugh as well, okay? But if you don't, all cool. I find them funny. The third thing is I have a lot of things to cover over the next 75 minutes, okay? I can actually speak all 3 hours, but we'll break this into chunks, I believe, I hope. I have a lot of things to cover. I can actually speak about Facebook marketing for 4 days underwater. There is so much to know about Facebook marketing that I cannot give you all of the information in detail in the time frame that I've got. So, is it okay if I give you an overview of what is possible with Facebook marketing? Is that okay? And we've got some resources at the end which I can share with you that you can get a little bit more in-depth information. So, let's get underway then. I actually wanted to show you this, in fact. This little girl here in the corner is my daughter Tegan. Tegan has just turned 9. Tegan started her first Facebook business when she was 5 years old. She was Loom Band Girl. So does anyone got kids? Anyone remember the Loom Bands? Crazy, crazy. She wanted me to sit and help her with Loom Bands, and I have no idea. I've got 2 left thumbs. So she taught herself, and then she started putting together videos. And so she started selling little t-shirts and that on Loom Band Girl on her Facebook page when she was 5 years old. Last year, she decided that she wanted to start a fashion for girls, a fashion just for girls page, Facebook page. So I helped her, of course, but she put together this page, and then she went into her room. She took photos of all her old clothes, some clothes that I'm like, that's not old, Tegan, I bought that for you last week. You cannot resell that. Very enthusiastic, this little girl. I want to share this with you because last year, this little girl here at 8 years old made her first passive income, well, kind of passive income. She made her first lot of money while she slept. So she's made money beforehand, but she put some clothes up, they sold, someone in the American market bought them. Next day she woke up, she checked, and she'd made some money. At 8 years, who likes that idea? Going to sleep at night, waking up in the morning, having money in your bank account. And especially that. So I just wanted to share that because the strategies that I'm going to share with you today it's a formula, okay? And it's a formula that even an 8-year-old can use. Now, my 5-year-old, he was 5 actually, no, he's 7 now, gosh. 7-year-old son, he just started his own business beginning of this year, Caleb's Cookies, which involves making huge big chocolate chip cookies and is a little bit more hands-on. So we don't like that one quite as much, but because mummy has to make them. I'm not a cook. Anyway, so here's what we're going to be covering. Why Facebook strategies that were working, I'm going to say, this says 12 months ago, but I actually seriously mean even 6 months ago, are now out of date, they're costly, and they're ineffective. Now, I work on hundreds of Facebook accounts, not at one time, but have seen into the back end of thousands of Facebook accounts. People come to me because they're not making sales with Facebook and they've had someone doing it for them, and I'll have a look at the back end of their Facebook account and I'm like, well, yes, because that strategy doesn't work anymore. So the great thing is you guys are going to learn the stuff that works now. Whether it will work tomorrow or the next day, different story, but it works right now, okay? I'm going to show you the 7 steps. And so I told you this is a formula. It's a formula that I've even rolled out with my kids. The 7 steps to really market your business the right way using Facebook. And it is very, very different to what business owners are doing today. And it might be very different to what you guys are doing today as well. But we'll ask you a few questions in a second. And I want to show you lots of examples of businesses that are really nailing it right now using these strategies. So, like that idea? Excellent. Great. Okay, so who am I and why should you listen to me? Who has actually heard of me before? A couple of people in the room. Excellent. That's okay. So the thing is it's my job, realistically here today, my job is to show you ways that you can make money with Facebook. So I take my job very, very seriously, and I want to use Facebook to make money. That's the whole reason why. I have a social aspect to it, but that's why I do what I do, to help businesses really grow and thrive. What I am best known for is I do work with businesses. I work with them all over the world, and I help them implement the latest Facebook marketing strategies. Now, why do you think I only focus on Facebook? Any ideas? Because it's enough? Because it changes so much? Yeah? There's one? Yep, so many people on Facebook. Yes, it's what I'm good at. Remember how Steve was saying before that you specialise? And then you can grow your business. I'm a social media strategist. I was trying to do social media, so I was trying to do every single social channel for businesses. I was getting worn out trying to keep up just with Facebook, let alone all those other social channels. And what I found in doing all that, for me and my clients, is that Facebook was the one that we were making the most money from. It was the best traffic source. So that's when I decided that I was going to specifically specialise in Facebook. And that's what I eat, breathe, sleep, is Facebook. So everything I'm telling you today is as current as possible because this is what I do. In my spare time, I have children, but I run marathons. Now the reason why I'm sharing this with you is that as a marathon runner, I run quite a lot, and I spend ages pounding the pavements, and I listen to podcasts on Facebook marketing, and I listen to training on Facebook marketing. So I have hours and hours and hours of listening to this stuff. And then what I do is sometimes I'll stop and I'll get an amazing idea and I have to ring my PA up and say, listen, I've got this great idea. And then what I do is I take all of this training and then I implement it. Now, I'll generally test it on myself first before I'll go and test it on clients, but I do have the odd client that goes, yep, Kerry, throw it at me, try it on my account. I take this information, I implement it, and I pick out the good stuff. So that's the stuff I'm going to share with you. My main focus, like I said, and the reason why I do this is really, listen, I've got lots of friends. I've got a really great social circle. I don't need necessarily any more in Facebook. And I find a lot of people come to me and they'll say to me, oh, Kerry, I find Facebook a big waste of time. I'm like, well, what are you doing on there? Oh, well, I get on there and I'll start posting on my page and then something will pop up and someone will say something and then I'll go across to there and next minute they're onto a website buying shoes. Who's done that? Yeah, once or twice. But my main focus is to use Facebook to make money. Not just friends. It is a social network and you need to build the relationship. But everything should, in the back of your mind when you're doing this, should be, okay, what's my end game here? What is my goal? How am I going to take this to make money? And that's what I'm going to help you with. I have trained as a journalist. I was a journalist for around about 10 years. I worked in print, radio and TV. They didn't mind my accent back in New Zealand. In fact, they were quite used to it. One of the reasons why I mention this to you, and again, it's one of those things about finding information, right? So we go onto the internet and we research information, and Google will give us a certain amount of information, correct? Now, most people would stop at the front page or the second page of Google and look at information. Well, my journalism training taught me to actually dig even deeper. And what I did was I was able to find people that were really nailing it on Facebook. This is quite a few years ago, nailing it on Facebook, but they were super quiet. They weren't teaching people how to do it, but they were doing extremely well in it, and they had some amazingly advanced strategies. So I was able to research those people, find them, get hold of them, and learn from them. So another key lesson. If someone's doing it and they're doing it really, really well, find them and learn from them or do what they're doing and implement, take action. So like I said, I have studied and I've coached and I've, for the last 7 years, people in social media marketing and like I said, predominantly Facebook marketing over the last couple of years. But what's really great for you guys here in the room right now is I do specialise in building long-term scalable income streams predominantly using, and reliable income streams predominantly using Facebook. So those are the strategies that we're going to go over. Who would like to build a reliable, sustainable, scalable income stream? One of those ones that you wake up in the morning and there's money in your account. Excellent. So let's just take a little bit of a poll here, how experienced you are at Facebook marketing. So the first one is, have I got quite Essie in here? Is that me or is it just the microphone? I feel like I'm sliding naked. All right, so newbie, you do not have a Facebook account. Hands up. One. Not to point it. Do you want to stand up and show? No, only kidding. You're shy. All right, so is a social Facebook user but does not have a business page? A couple? Okay. Has a Facebook business page but not running ads right now? Okay, about half. That'd be okay. Who is currently running Facebook ads? Yep. Rightio, we've got a bit of a mixture between Facebook business page and Facebook ads being the... All right, oh, actually, who's making lots of money from Facebook right now? Was there a hand over there? Excellent, we've got one. Cool. I'll introduce you to this person down here who's not on Facebook. Right, so I want to get you guys to here. Okay, very, very quickly, because this is not why I'm here, but well, I want to get into the exciting stuff, okay? But very quickly, why we choose Facebook. It is the #1 website in the world. 7 out of 10 website users are on Facebook. So do you think if it's the #1 website in the world and 7 out of 10 Facebook users are on, website users are on Facebook, where are your clients? No matter what industry you're in, no matter what niche you're in, no matter what you're doing, your clients are on Facebook. The time and time again, I'll have a business say to me, but I'm business to business. Your business owner that you want to deal with is on Facebook. It's a matter of getting in front of them and getting in front of them correctly. The world's top brands are on Facebook. The reason why I mention this is if they're doing it, it works. Another really, really cool thing that I love doing is I love to see what a top brand does, because they're spending the millions of dollars on advertising. So use their research and effectively their money and mirror what they do if you can. So have a look at what some of the top brands are doing and perhaps some of the top brands in your industry. See what they're doing and see whether that's something that you might be able to do on a smaller scale and implement into your business. Because if it's working, if they're doing it, it works. More than 1 billion people access Facebook via their mobile phone. There is a really, really scary statistic here in Australia, and I'd love to tell you what that is, but I'll say there's a larger percentage than there should be of people. Actually, I'll ask you guys this question. Who here, the last thing before they go to sleep at night, checks their Facebook status? The married ones. Who here checks before they jump out of bed in the morning? Same people. Something might happen overnight. Don't worry, I do too. Here's a scary one. Did you know that there's a large percentage of Australians that will take their mobile phone to the toilet with them? Used to take their newspaper, now it's a mobile phone, and we'll sit there and check while they're on the toilet. Did you know, as a business owner, what is really, really, really cool is you can be in bed with your client. This is the best place you can possibly be. The trust levels are really high there. Or you can be the solution to their problem whilst they're on the toilet. Very, very scary. Who does that? Who does take their phone into the toilet with them? You can high five to that. Just don't take a photo or check in. 74% of consumers rely on social media to make purchasing decisions. So what they're doing now is they're going onto Facebook predominantly and they're asking their friends, who do you do business with? I'm planning on traveling to XYZ. Can anyone recommend a hotel? And so on. So they're going onto social media rather than mainstream media to make their purchasing decisions, and new products are now discussed on Facebook. Why do we discuss our products? Why do businesses launch on Facebook or social media first before mainstream media? Anyone? Yeah. Test the market, audiences. Yeah, it's a lot cheaper. They can put something out, research, see whether it's going to work, see whether people want it, and it doesn't really cost them that much at all before they roll it out mainstream. They can get product feedback and everything before they roll it out. So here's the deal though. Most business owners are doing Facebook wrong. What I'm going to cover right now, I want to go through some of the steps on the wrong way. Just see whether it's something you guys might identify with, the ones that are doing ads. And then we'll take you through how to do it the right way. Is that okay? Excellent. So, what happens? The first step is they build likes. Now, you want people to come and like your Facebook page, realistically. It's the first step of them putting their hand up to say, I'm interested in what you do. However, what happens is these business owners concentrate on building lots and lots and lots of likes. So really quantity over quality. So they get lots of likes at the lowest cost possible. They might be targeting India and none of their clients are in India, okay? They'll get 1 cent likes. Or they're targeting too broad or whatever it is. So they get lots of likes at the lowest cost. But the result of this is that I'm going to call them fans. That's what we used to call them, and it's just a nice name to call people that like your page. But you get lots of people who like your page, but they're very, very poorly targeted because you haven't targeted them correctly. Then what happens is the business owner goes, right, I'm going to start posting on my page. I've got all these people that like the page. I'm going to give them some information, right? Well, they're poorly targeted. So when you start posting on your page, your posts people aren't reacting to them. Now think of Facebook like this. Facebook will reward you for doing good. It wants a good user experience, just like Google. So if you do things and people like them, comment on them, share them, or spend time on them, which is a new algorithm that it checks now, then Facebook rewards you, says, well, you've posted that, people really like that, we're going to show it to more of your people, okay? So does everyone understand that when you put a post on your business page, if you've got 1,000 fans, that it might reach under 10 initially? Do we understand that? Yep, cool, because that's pretty much what happens. It's because Facebook's testing to see whether people actually like it. Sometimes when your page becomes more popular, it will go to more people. There's a lot of different reasons why, but it can be timing, it can be people online at that particular time, and so on. So you want to post at times where your people are online, by the way, and you can check that in the back end of your page. But what happens here is they build lots of likes, they're poorly targeted, they focus on reach. So they go, oh, my reach is really, really poor. But of course it's going to be because your fans are poorly targeted. They're not actually liking what you're posting. So then here's what they do, is they try and increase engagement. Now you might have seen these before. Who has seen funny cat memes on Facebook at least once or twice or 10 times a day? Or GIFs or whatever. Right. So what they do is they try and increase the engagement. We want to increase the engagement and they use irrelevant photos, videos, memes. Now what happens is actually Facebook knows people like cats, or may not really like cats, but react to cats on Facebook for some strange reason. So if you do post something with a cat, Facebook goes, oh, it's a cat. Boom, they'll send it out to a lot of people in the news feed. And you'll get a lot of people responding because they love funny cats and kids. And I've got some kids, if you guys want to borrow little kids to put in photos, put on Facebook doing funny things. But what will happen here is that people will respond and you will get a lot more reach. But they're not actually truly engaged with your brand. So unless you're Whiskers or sell cat products or can find out a way to tie your product in with a funny cat meme, don't do it. And then what happens, so we've got our fans, we've got reach now because we're putting out all these cat memes and kids doing funny stuff. Then what happens is business owners try and sell something. So then you go, right, now buy my badminton racket, I don't know, pair of shoes, suitcase. Sales are low, because the fans are really poorly targeted and they're not engaged. Can anyone relate to this? Yep. I see this time and time again, and the number of people that go, it doesn't work, I'm not getting reach, why aren't I getting reach? This will be why. So, lots of effort for very, very little return. There is a much better way of doing Facebook marketing, and I want to go through that, but I want to show you some businesses that we're doing it the right way with, and just give you a little bit of a story as much as possible behind them. So I've worked with this company here, Fruity. It's a high-end blender and juicer company. They sell restaurant-grade blenders and juicers online. Now, they actually had a really good, so I've got 170,000 people that like the page, and the targeting was pretty good. And they were actually giving really, really good information out to the people that liked their page. So everything was okay up to a point. But what was happening with the advertising is they were advertising continuously to a cold audience, which is okay. But why not advertise to people that have already liked their page, have already visited their website, have already purchased from them, or look like people that have purchased from them? So we set up what I'm going to show you guys later is a remarketing campaign, and I know that David was talking about that before. But we set up a remarketing campaign for these guys, and we targeted people that had already visited their website or that had already bought from them beforehand and probably needed to upgrade or whatever else. And so in putting together the right audience, we were able to make an extra $33,000 a month for this company, and just using Facebook advertising. I worked with this company here, it's really hard to see, sorry. It's a jeweller, Patton's Place Jewellers, and he had not built a list before, so had no online marketing, no list, no nothing, was just a typical jewellery store. Came to me, said, listen, I'd like to do something on Facebook. So we put together a campaign for him. Now what we wanted to do is, he was holding a sale, so of course we wanted people to come in to the sale. We didn't want to miss an opportunity to get people onto the list and start list building as well. Here's what's really cool about it. I mean, he got 110 people on his email list over I think it might have been 14 days of the sale, or just under 14 days of the sale. So kick-started his email list. So what we did is we did an ad, we drove them to a landing page where they received $10 off. They could bring that into store or the discount code. But what this ended up being, he got $128,000, give or take, it was worth of sales directly from this advertising. But what he was saying, which was really, really cool, is that people were coming from the other side of town to this jewellery store saying, we saw your ad on Facebook. So nice little result for him, and doing it all correctly from the start. Hairdressing salon I work with, Sam, is hilarious, and this actually goes down to specialising as well. Sam owns 3 hair salons on the Sunshine Coast. Now, he does any kind of hairdo someone wants, right? It's a hair salon. But he specialises in colour, and that's his whole marketing message, is he's the colour specialist of the Sunshine Coast. So ends up already a step above everyone else, because everyone's like, oh, colour, this is the place to go. But we spend $400, and because he gets his targeting right, his message right, and I guess does the right steps in Facebook marketing, he spends $400 in Facebook ads, and he makes $4,000 a week just from his Facebook advertising. Who likes that idea? Spend $400, make $4,000. Yeah? Only 5 of you. What? The rest of you want to spend $400 and make $400,000. Is that correct? Yes, excellent. Okay, we can show you that too. I work with a couple called Andrew and Daryl Grant. This is not them. This is one of the people that we held a workshop for. But Andrew and Daryl Grant hold workshops throughout Australia teaching people how to set up online businesses. This is one that they just started this year, this particular couple. I'm just checking, yep, that's the one. This couple here started this year and put together Creating a Successful Kids Business workshop. So we started at the start of the year. We started building up the right fan base, we started building the list, we started promoting this workshop. Now from the workshop and the amount of sales they made from the workshop from people that came via the Facebook ads, which was actually a majority of the room because they started cold initially, made over $100,000 from people, Facebook attendees. But Andrew and Daryl Grant, who I help, we're able to make over 7 figures a year in just running people to events and selling products at events through Facebook advertising. I just got a couple more, but is there any real estate agents in the room? We've got a real estate agent in the room. This is why I'm sharing this, because we usually do. Campbell, Facebook phobia. That really didn't like it. But within a week and a half of us getting this page up, we started promoting his open homes. Someone saw one of the open homes that he was promoting, came along to the open home and said, I loved what you did on Facebook, can we list our house with you? So that was within a week and a half from go to woe, and it was what, a $1.2 million listing he got from that. And I want to share this one with you because it's a personal story, and I'm very, very proud, and when you do this right, this is what can happen. This little business here is mine. It's Run Marathon Training. I started it less than 3 years ago, and I started it as a challenge. I got asked, because of my Facebook skills, I bet you can't make money out of Facebook within 30 days from scratch. Don't give me a challenge like that. Of course I'm going to do it. So I put together a video course over 30 days where I had no topic, no nothing. And I'm a runner. At this stage, I hadn't actually run a full official marathon, but I ended up entering for my first one very quickly. Put together Run Marathon Training because it ticked all the boxes. It was, broad, niche down to marathon running. Started selling within day 21. I'd sold affiliate products of it. Then I got my own products developed, which were training programs and nutritional programs. I didn't write them. I got someone else to write them for me. Not qualified. Then I did a crowdfunding campaign on a t-shirt. In fact, just speaking of taking action, seriously, I watched this webinar this one day. They had a 2-minute segment on this Teespring idea. 2 minutes. I went Teespring. It was at about 10 o'clock at night. I stayed up till about 4 o'clock in the morning and had my first Teespring campaign up and running with Marathon Girl. It bombed. 48 hours, I had a graphic designer do a couple more images. I found a better quote and everything like that, and it made me over $8,000, and I didn't even get to see the t-shirts until they were sent to me. There, I knew I had an idea. So I found a supplier in China, got them to send me an example of a singlet, got the right materials and that, had this, set up a pre-launch in April, a couple of years ago. Ooh, 45 minutes, hopefully to go quickly. It does go quickly from here. Set up a pre-launch, sold out of my first shipment of running tops before I even got them in, before I even paid for them. Why was I able to do that? Facebook, right audience, building the engagement, getting people to trust me. I had my fans, I knew what they wanted. So sold out of the first shipment, and then I just kept pre-launching. So I didn't pay for anything. It was all paid for before I paid for it. This is an international sportswear brand of clothing now. I sell in a few countries all over the world, and trademarked here in Australia. Never mess with a woman who runs 42.2 kilometres just for fun. I'm bringing out other stuff that my girls have asked me for. So this little business is around about 8K a month, but I work at the most, very most, and I'm stretching this 10 hours a month. At the most on this business. It's not my core business, it's my fun business. We're going to be ramping it up in the new year. So, actually I want to share one more story with you because it's just where you guys are sitting sort of right now and what sorts of things you can achieve. Petra came to one of my workshops a couple of years ago and didn't even know what a like was. Then she came back last year and came up on stage and told this story, which is just a lovely little story, and then we're going to go into the right way. I'm a beauty therapist with a passion for natural therapies. I have an e-commerce business selling a natural teeth whitener called Warpaint. I started on social media just 18 months ago. Before that, I didn't even know what a like was. I attended Kerry's Facebook workshop a year ago, and Kerry helped me set up a business on Facebook. My daughters also helped me with Instagram. I've now been selling for 10 months. In month 3, I did 30,000 in sales. Last month, I did 65,000. I'm now selling in 55 countries and have a distributor in the UK. I'm a 2015 finalist in the Richard Branson Entrepreneur Business Builders Awards, and I'm in the top 1% in social media sales for businesses under 12 months old. Based on orders I have in my pipeline, I'll do over $1 million next year. Caught up with her a couple of months ago, and she's done well over $1 million and supplying all throughout the country, and she's absolutely massive. But she took action, guys. She took action and did it the right way. So let's talk about step by step the right way to do Facebook marketing. Here are the steps. I'll do overview, and then I'll chunk it down a little bit for you. Is that okay? Excellent, right. And I'll try and keep my jokes to a minimum because of the time frame. Create your Facebook business page. That's the very first step we want to do. So whether you've got an existing business with a Facebook business page or you're starting out afresh, this is the first step we need to do. What I try and do initially is I want to build those likes up and over 1,000 Facebook likes, people that have come like my page. Very highly targeted people though. So I do research beforehand to try and figure out who these people are, all to the best of my ability. Once you get up and over 1,000, it unlocks something in your ads manager in the back end of Facebook where you can see a lot more demographics about your ideal client. And so you can find out a little bit more about them, which is really important, and I'll tell you why in a minute. What we do then is we create custom audiences. So have we heard what custom audiences are? So these are audiences that we create inside Facebook from people that like our page. We want to create a custom audience from people who have visited our website. These are really, really hot people. And we want to create a custom audience from people who are currently on our email list, whether they're buyers, which is fantastic, or they've just come onto a list. What we want to do then is we want to create a look-alike audience of the above. So our look-alike audience is a really exciting audience. If you haven't got a big audience right now, or list, or people on your Facebook page, as long as it's up and over 100, you can build a look-alike audience. And this look-alike audience is almost exactly like that audience. So if you've got a list of over 100 buyers and you want to find 100,000 people that are that similar to those buyers, you do it using a look-alike audience. Who finds that really exciting? Yeah. This audience here converts really, really well. Not as good as your website audience, but when I'm advertising to an audience that looks like one of my buyers, they convert really, really well. What we want to do, step 5 in this process, in the marketing step process, is we want to create a landing page on our website. We want to take people from Facebook onto our website, and I'll explain why in a minute. And then we want to use ads to send people to that landing page. There's a couple of different types of ads that we can run. I'm going to use the second part of this to run through the campaign structure and go into a little bit more detail about running an actual campaign, but this is just an overview for now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to remarket to people that did not take action. And I've got some really, really cool tricks, things that I do here. So those are the 7 steps. Let's break them down a little bit. So step 1 is we're going to set up and optimize our Facebook page. We're going to set up a like campaign, so a campaign to get people to come and like that particular page. And we want to set up a landing page on our website that has that free valuable gift. So high perceived value, low cost of delivery for you guys. Something that you're going to get return on investment on. So let's talk about optimizing your Facebook page. It comes in several different forms. Well, there's different components to optimizing your Facebook page. The first and foremost is that little profile picture. It's the thing that follows you around Facebook. It's kind of like you, if you can imagine. It should be like you. You want a cover photo, which is your shop window. So your cover photo is your main cover photo on your page, which I'll show you in a second. And you want an about section. The biggest mistake I see people make in their Facebook page, in their about section, is they say, we're a family-owned business and we've been operating for 9 years in Wollongong, and we've gone from 3 generations of blah, 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 blah. I've gone to sleep. If that's you, change it. It's the benefits. What are you going to do for that client? Keep it nice and simple for you for my marathon running, right? Love running marathons like us. We will share training tips, nutritional tips to help you cross the finish line, having fun and in a safe way, injury-free. Does that sound a little bit better than I established myself in 2011, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so about section with benefits. Why are they coming to your page? What do they want to see? What's in it for them? Seems quite simple, but A lot of people don't do it. So here's some examples of some profile pictures. We've got the stock standard logo. We've got the attractive looking female. We've got just yourself. We've got product. So this girl here is the chair. Product profile picture. And we've got face and logo. Which one do you think? So we'll go A, B, C, D. Who thinks A would get a better result? B, product, unless it's a nice car or something, and people are car enthusiasts. C, D, most of the room, correct. Have tested them. So if you have got a face, that's not a face for radio. And if you have got a face for radio, please put some makeup on and get some professional profile pictures done up. Face and logo works the best. People do business with people, whether it's on social media or not. They're doing business with you. They want to identify with someone. So Ford, for instance, usually has an avatar, has someone, a face of the business, and so on. A lot of those big brands do. So if you don't want to be the face of your business, get someone else to be, but that works the best. Here's your cover photo. Actually, I need to take a new screenshot because this has changed. But advertise your latest whatever. Have a call to action. Swap this out. Think of this as your shop window. It's your shop. When people come to your page, they want to see something exciting here, and you want to lead them off to what you want them to do. Here's another example, highlighting product. So we're going to jump now into creating effective like ads. So the very first step here is you want to have an image and a call to action. Again, don't overcomplicate this. It's about them. Love running marathons like us. It's very, very effective. And the only people that are going to generally the only people that are going to like this are people that love doing what? Running marathons, hopefully. So nice and simple and sweet. We want to create and manage these ads inside Ads Manager. Now, the reason why I mention this is Facebook likes to make things so simple for you guys, so simple, but possibly could make them more money. So what happens when you set up your Facebook page for the very first time? As part of the setup process, they say, would you like to promote your page? Who here in the room would like to promote their page? Yes, well, most people. So you can actually run an ad in the setup process, but what it does is it pulls your about section. It's not fully optimized. You don't even half the time know who you're targeting. And the number of people that have been running these like campaigns are like, I don't even know how I ran it. Did you tick promote your page? So you can also go onto your page in Facebook and they'll let you promote it there. And they'll in fact send you through pop-ups to say, hey, this thing is performing way better than the others. Why not boost it? Don't. Go inside Ads Manager and manage all your ads inside Ads Manager. If you are more advanced in Facebook and you know about Power Editor, yes, go in there. If you've never heard of Power Editor before, block it from your memory right now. You don't need to know right now. It's just another thing to learn. We always want to be split testing. You guys have probably heard about split testing. We most definitely want to be split testing when we're running ads inside Facebook. Don't just think you're going to put an ad up and it's going to bring business in your door. It might do, but you might be able to get it for cheaper and get a better result. So we always have 2 ads running to split test. And generally at the start, I'll split test different images, and then I might go with different audiences and so on and so on and so on. You can split test forever, but I generally split test for a month, and usually I've got the most optimal then. In the start of a campaign though, I do it for around about 10 days. So now that I'm further along, I can do it for a bit longer, but run the campaign for up to 10 days, and we want to have a daily budget of, and I'll explain this to you a little bit next session when we go through campaign structure, $5 per ad set. So if we're running 2 ads or 2 ad sets, we're going to have $10 a day, but we want to run it for 10 days and keep trying to beat the control. And what we're doing in this instance is we're looking for ads that have a high relevancy score. So Facebook gives your ads a relevancy score out of 10. just to let you know, for those that are already running ads, and keep this in your back of your head for you that are not running ads right now but will probably run ads after this, is the only time the relevancy score concerns me, or I even look at it, is when I'm running a campaign to get people to come and like my page. Because I've seen direct correlation between high relevancy score, so 10 out of 10 means Facebook says your ad's relevant, right audience, right image, right everything, congratulations, you've done good, to what will make cost per like a lot less. In any other campaign I have seen, sometimes the relevancy score might be high for a campaign to get people to convert on my website, but I've got another ad running where it's lower and that's converting better. Do you think I would stop the one that's converting better? No, I keep it running. So the only time, just plant this in their head somewhere, that I worry about the relevancy score is when I'm running a campaign to get people to come and like my page. So in this instance, when we're starting out, or starting out afresh, we're going to advertise to. If your business is brand new or brand new to Facebook, initially we have to advertise to an interest type based audience. This, by the way, is one of the lowest converting audiences. And what I mean by an interest based audience is, if we're talking about my marathon runners, it's people that love running marathons. So it's keyword marathon runners or marathon running. Now, I typically wouldn't actually advertise to those people either. I take it a step further and I go, right, what types of pages would those marathon runners like? Or in business, what types of pages would that business owner like? So in business, I might target, rather than business owners, which I find a really expensive audience, generic business owners or behavior business owners, I'll target people that like MyOb or Xero or Business Review Weekly. So other pages that they might like. With my marathon runners, I'll target people that like the Gold Coast Marathon, Sydney Running Festival, Melbourne Marathon, New York Marathon. Do we get the idea? So rather than the keyword, try and think of other pages that your audience will like. You can actually research it inside Facebook as well, anyway, but if you have an existing database, load it up into Facebook and advertise to those people to come back and like your page. You want to have several touches on your audience or on your people. And I want to show you this. So those are the two audiences. Oh, I just jumped back too far, didn't I? If you're starting out, those are the two audiences initially. If you've been running for a little while, then you might want to, and you've got a website audience and so on, then you can advertise to them, or a lookalike audience, you can advertise to them. But those are initially the audiences we're going to advertise to. So I want to show you examples of some like ads and what's good and what's not. So this one here had a relevancy score of 8 out of 10, which is great. It's okay. My client loved this image. Now, she's a Samoyed lover. This is the image that she loved. She loved it so much. Can you imagine? This is a photo of a dog, and this is a photo of a dog. This was put on a t-shirt. I just found that really amusing. It didn't sell, by the way. No one else liked it. Anyway, love Samoyed dogs like us, adorable photos, helpful tips. This is a Samoyed haven. It cost 28 cents to get someone to like the page. So it was 28 cents per page like. Now, that's okay. If you were in a business niche or a local business niche, you'd be happy with that. In a passion niche, that's too high. We don't expect people that are passionate about, we're not going to pay 28 cents to get in front of them. So we split test. So you'll see that we split, this was after about 3 days. This is an image that she didn't actually like, by the way. I'm not a Samoyed lover, don't dislike them, don't get me wrong. But this, to me, would be more appealing. Shot straight to a 10 out of 10 relevancy score. Wording the same, audience the same, everything else. Guess what we dropped down to? 2 cents? Any? No? No guesses? 6 cents alike. So if we hadn't split test, 2 things here. A, if we hadn't split test, we would never have known. Don't be in love with your own stuff. Check. Find out, and you can with Facebook quite easily, what's going to work and what's not going to work. Here's one of mine, boring ad I ran initially. If I remember rightly, actually, I don't think I've got the price in here. I think that was around about 80 cents alike. And then I swapped it out. I love shoes. Everyone that knows me knows I love shoes. I love shoes and I love fashion. And I kind of wanted to attract people that were a little bit like me in this particular campaign. So start out on the right foot with your Facebook marketing and advertising like us. So think outside the box when you're doing ads sometimes as well. That one there dropped down to about 18 cents to 21 cents alike. And I'm happy with that. I get return on investment on that. I run a few other campaigns as well. So the purpose of the like ads, it's not actually necessarily what you think. Who thinks the purpose of a like ad is just to get likes on your page? Good. We've been taught well. It's really to help you exactly identify who your ideal demographic is. Like I said, once you get up and over 1,000 inside Facebook, inside audience network, you can have a look, and it unlocks a few extra things that tell you a little bit more about your demographic. Can you imagine knowing a little bit more about your demographic? So you might have an idea, but you can find out what other pages that they like, how many people are in their household, what type of car they like if they're in the States, their behaviour, are they high spenders, and so on. So there's other things that you can find out. But the key thing here is to get someone to come and like your page is inexpensive. Done properly, you get a really, really good audience. And it's the first chance that they get, they put their hand up to say, I'm interested in what you do. The other thing is, once you can identify exactly who these people are, you can advertise directly to them. So imagine it like this. A 35 to 45-year-old female, when we like different images, we like different wordings, we respond to different things differently than, let's just say, a 35 to 45-year-old male. So if you knew you had an audience of predominantly males, then you would do different types of different wording, different copy, different type of image. If you've ever seen ads on TV or on Facebook or whatever else that you feel like they're directly talking to you, that's because they are. That's because that business has done their research. A lot of those top brands, they do their research, they know exactly who that person is they're speaking to, and they're able to do the ads that attract that person. If you can do that with Facebook, and you're showing an ad and someone sees that and goes, oh my God, yes, that's me, then you've done your job correctly. But you don't need to guess it. Facebook will tell you all that. It gives you who they are, and it gives you stats on what's working and what's not working. That's one of the reasons why I love it. And like I said earlier, guess what Facebook does? It rewards you for doing good. So you put the right message to the right people, the right imaging, they respond to it, Facebook will reward you by dropping your ad costs, and that's how they start dropping down. Oh, is that phone? Checking Facebook, anyone? And yeah, a little bit of social proof never goes astray. So I want to show you, you might not be able to see this, so I'll try and point it out, but just to give you an idea, this was a campaign I ran for a couple of days. I just took a screenshot of it to build the list. Here's my interest-based audience, had 172 clicks because there was a lot more of them, reached a lot more. 7 people opted in at $6.43 an opt-in. This is the fans. So we're people that already like the page, obviously a lot less clicks, more people opted in because they've already know them, and it was only $2. So we find that these, getting to come and like your page first, means that the advertising costs can drop quite significantly. So step 2 is you want to post relevant content and helpful content on your website. The reason why we want to do this is we actually want to drive them to our website. We want to drive them to our website because we want to remarket to them. We want to put a little pixel, which Facebook gives us. Every account has one. You all have a little pixel, by the way, a little bit of code in Facebook. That's your little unique code. And you can put it on your website, and then you can track people that come to your website and remarket to them when they come back to Facebook. But in this step here, we just want to put relevant content on our website because we want to post on Facebook and we want to send them off to our website. So then we've got them there. And it might be an article that you know that they'll be interested in. You might have to test that. You might have to do a lot of different articles and figure out which one has the best reaction. Or it might be a landing page to opt in to get a gift or something. So the next step is that little pixel that I was telling you about. So we want to put this on each page of our website so that we can track those people that come to our website. Anyone want to know what a pixel is, or did I describe that really, really well? I didn't know when I first, what's a pixel? It's not the movie, is it? It is a small bit of code, and Facebook gives it to you. You all have it. One, you put it on your website, or you get your technical person to put it on your website. And what's really cool about it is that whether someone's logged into Facebook or not, whether they've come from their mobile device, it doesn't matter what traffic source they've come to come to your website, it'll track them. So when they come in and log into Facebook, you can set up ads and show them ads when they come back on, okay? So it doesn't matter whether they're logged in or not, and it doesn't matter whether they come via their mobile device, they still can get tracked. And then what you want to do is you want to create audiences in Facebook, depending on what page they visited. And this is where it gets really, really exciting. So let's just say someone has come to my Marathon Girl Guide for running a marathon, 7 easy steps, and they don't opt in to get my free guide. They go back to Facebook and they see, hey, see you might be interested in running a marathon. Here's why you need to grab a copy of that guide. Benefit, 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 that gets them to take action. Now the really, really cool thing is, get even more excited about this, is we can run that ad from 1, 2, 3, up to 180 days after they've visited our website. But let's just say after 7 days they still haven't opted in. Do you think that message is working? Possibly not. So we might want to swap it out with something else. So we'll run a campaign that runs for 7 days after they visit our website with one message. We might swap it out for the next 7 days, so now it's going on to 14 days after they visited our website, and we might swap it out with a video. That might attract them more. And if that doesn't work, then something else. Then what we can do, so we're creating audiences depending on did they come to our landing page and excluding whether they came to our thank you page. That's why it's really important to have a thank you page after someone's come to your website as well. Then you want to set rules up inside Facebook. And so that instructs Facebook to show different ads to different audiences. Like I said, depending on their action or inaction. Step 4, set up our page, we've driven them to our website, we've now put audiences in place inside Facebook, different audiences, they've landed on our landing page, they've opted in, they've come to our blog page or whatever it might be. Now we're going to run ads. And we're going to run ads. Now at this instance, we've got our fans, and we want them to come and read our report or opt into our list. Or it might be our lookalike audience. Or if you've got a database, it might be a database. The purpose of this step is we want to trigger that Facebook pixel. It's called seasoning the pixel. Basically, you want to send lots of people to your website so that Facebook can get to know what types of people like to visit your website so they can help build a better audience for you as well, which is really, really cool. Facebook, by the way, is like Google. It is like God. Facebook knows everything. If you're on Facebook, Facebook can see what you're doing, see who you're talking to, see other websites that you go to, and so on and so on and so on, see how you interact. Very, very good at building up a really good profile of you. Now, a lot of people get scared about this. Think of it as a marketer, though. That's really exciting because you now know everything about your clients and people that, well, your potential clients. So we want to trigger that pixel and build a custom audience because these people, they've already come to your website. They are hot. We want to build an email list. So we don't just want to keep them on Facebook. We want to take them off and we want to put them on our list. Surely you guys know this. So that we can email market to them as well. We want several touches on these people. We also then want to take that email list that Facebook's already given us, that we've sent from Facebook to our website, they've opted in, then we want to load that back into Facebook again. Why do you think we'd want to do that? Any ideas? Just, yep. And also, another touch, like, who opens up every single email? I think I've got 100,000 unopened. So they might be seeing your email come in, that subliminal little message. They might not open it, or they do. But then they're going onto Facebook, and then they're seeing you there as well. You're front of mind. And then what we want to do is switch off the screens. Did I push something that I shouldn't have? Did I? No. Don't let me touch that. Huh. Who's excited by the possibilities so far? Yeah. Who's a little bit overwhelmed though? I know it's a lot of information. Yeah. Yep. 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 Every page you want to market to. So if you're using a WordPress, you just use a plugin. Some people put them in Google Tag Manager. But yep, every page. Here's another thing actually for those that are running adverts, and just keep this in mind while we're playing with the computer. I'll just sit up here and tap dance. Who here has a couple of different business websites? Okay, we've got a few of you. This is probably more relevant to you. Or who here wants to set up several different businesses, is looking at doing that sometime in the near future? So Facebook gives you one bit of code, and that's yours, your bit of code, and you put that bit of code on your website. But you've got to put it on, if you own several different websites, that same bit of code goes on several different websites, okay? But of course, you don't want to track necessarily everyone who visits that, or that every time that code gets fired off. So when I set up audiences inside Facebook, I'll set up, rather than an audience, and the first audience you can set up is visits my website. I never use that one. I always use visits certain pages of my website. And that's when you can say, so for instance, I've got Social Media Plus One, so I want to track people that have gone to socialmediaplusone.com. And on a different audience, I'm going to track people that have gone to runmarathontraining.com. And on a different audience, I'm going to track people that have come to marathongirlshop.com, and so on and so on and so on. Okay, so the thing, it's the second one down when you go into setting up audiences, and it's track people that have visited certain pages of, rather than the whole website. We haven't got any, we're down.
I just want to let you guys relax.
Relax and chill out with a, yeah. So we're all, what's that? Oh yeah, that's it. What step was I up to? Number 5. I could probably ad-lib this one.
Yep.
And draw.
Sorry, guys. Hi, Robert.
Got any more questions while we're... Yep. You have the same pixel, but you just set rules up inside Facebook, audiences in Facebook. Yep. One pixel per ad account. Yep. 1 pixel per ad account goes on any website that you own, belongs to every page that you own, but you set the rules up inside Facebook. So I want to collect an audience of people that come to marathongirlshop.com/half marathon singlet, and I want to set up an audience that is marathongirlshop.com/checkout. And then when I'm running an ad, I might want to run an ad that says I want to target people that have been to marathongirlshop.com singlet, exclude people that have been to Marathon Girl Shop checkout. And that's where I get my audience that have come to the page but not bought, or have come to add to cart and not checked out. So include, exclude. So you can build audiences based on any action they take on any of your websites, but you use the keywords, the URLs of each page of your website to build the audience. It sounds complicated once you get in there. It's not as complicated as it sounds. Oh, we're up, we're doing it. Yeah, cool. You're just trying to figure out where we are, aren't you? We're right up to, I think, 5 now. I was just doing a 4. Here we go. I think we actually did this one maybe. Run Facebook ads, go to content, trigger, build a list, build custom audience, and build that lookalike audience as well so that we can advertise to them. So just an idea. We're back up and running. I've got a short amount of time. You guys have seen landing pages, but here's an ad that runs for discover how to swap work for travel, live with the locals and make a difference. I think they've got about 10,000 on the list in a few months. Really highly targeted people that want to swap work for travel. But keep it congruent between ad to landing page. Pretty simple stuff. They don't want to think that they've gone off onto something else. Step 5 is we want to create those highly targeted custom audiences. So I know I've been talking about them, but let's break it down a little bit more. So what they are, your fans, your website visitors, your email list, and your lookalike audiences. So the different types of audiences, of course, are those fans. They are, first step, they've put their hand up to say they're interested in what you do. Your email custom audience, this is a pretty hot audience. It's your database. One would hope that they like what you do and are interested in what you're offering. We've got our website custom audience, so these are the people that have visited our website and whatever action they've taken there. And then we've got that lookalike audience that is so similar to all of the above. We've got an audience based on actions they've taken, whether it be visited your landing page, came to your thank you page, whatever action they take on your website, as long as you've got a landing page for each of those actions or a URL for each of those actions and the pixel on each page. So if you've got an e-commerce business, there's quite often there's a sequential number underneath for each individual person that buys. You don't necessarily want to take that. You want to take the keyword, which would be checkout for my WooCommerce. When someone adds to cart, it's add to cart. So I do marathongirlshop.com/ whatever it is there, add to cart. That would be one audience, and the other audience might be marathongirlshop.com/ checkout. And again, I want to get all those people that have come and added my top to their cart, but not checked out. So those are abandoned shopping cart people. And in fact, 67% of people abandon shopping cart partway through the buying process. Who has done this before? All the time. And actually, which steps right into the next step, which is great. There's a behaviour-based audience, so you can advertise to people based on whether they're high spenders on Facebook, what they like to do on Facebook, any type of behaviour realistically. Actually, so here's something that's, I keep going backwards, forwards, right. There's a couple of new audiences in Facebook. This has just been announced in the last month, let's just say. You can advertise to people that view your videos, so video view audience. You can advertise to people that have viewed your video based on how long they've viewed it for. So 3 seconds, 10 seconds, 25% through 50%, whether they've watched 75% of your video, and so on. So the really cool thing here is if you're running a video ad on Facebook, I find they don't convert as well. They're really great for branding and engagement, but if you want conversion, I find they don't convert as well, but I'll use a video ad to get 1 to 2 cent video views, and then I'll remarket to people that have watched that. But I'll generally remarket to people that have watched that with an image ad, let's just say, after they've watched more than 50% of it. Anything under 50%, then I might do something else. Okay, it might be a little bit more of the video because they haven't actually seen the rest yet. Does that make sense? Is that exciting? And you can advertise to people based on the amount of time they spend on your website. So do you think a person that's browsing around your website for more than 5 minutes might be interested in what you have to offer? Yeah, so you can advertise to those people that have been on your site for a certain period of time. The other audience you can advertise to is how many times they've visited your website. So frequency of. So again, you could reward someone for coming to your website 3 or more times. So there's so many exciting different audiences that you can use inside Facebook, and they're getting more and more and more as well. Step 6 is the remarketing process. Now, we've all heard what remarketing is, yes? My definition is stalking people who visit your website and based on their action or inaction, show them highly targeted ads. I also like to think of it like this. Who has children? Most of us. Okay, at any stage in your life, have you gone to the shopping centre? We call them shopping malls, by the way, but shopping centre with your child as young children, and have they asked you for, let's just say, an ice cream? Who's had that happen before? Sure, I'm not the only mum. Yeah. Now, tell me this. When you're walking into the shopping centre and on the arm, Mum, can I have an ice cream? What is your first, or Dad, what's your first reaction? Who says yes straight away? Push over. You mean my dad? No. Now, tell me, does the child stop? They know they're not going to get an ice cream. They know you'll forget. Totally. So, we keep walking. Mum, can I have an ice cream? No. Mum, can I have an ice cream? No. Mum wants to go on and try on a dress. Mum, all right, if you behave, you can have an ice cream. Or they go, hey, Mum, I'll let you go into that shop. So, a child knows how to remarket properly. If they stopped at the first time, they wouldn't get the ice cream necessarily. Same with you guys. If you put an ad out there, someone visits your website, they don't buy that first time, they go away. Like me, I'm an impulsive shopper. I might see something, click through, add to cart, disappear, and forget all about it, never to be seen again. I'm never going to get that pair of high heels. Unless they remarket to me. And that's what you guys have to do. They go from, prospect, your site, gets tracked, leaves, ad gets shown on other sites, but in this instance, Facebook comes back to your site. Purposes, you want to target people who have taken a particular action with a very specific tailored ad. So if someone visits your opt-in page or your landing page or whatever you want to call it and they don't opt in, you want to show them ads about the value of your free gift. Like I said, you didn't grab a copy of my Marathon Girl Guide or actually my remarketing webinar. I see you visited my remarketing, Facebook remarketing registration page but didn't register for my webinar. Here's how John made blah, 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 and give them the reason why they want to come back and register. If someone abandons your shopping cart, you want to get back in front of them again. We actually had one client who sold brown paper bags and had a really brown paper bags of all things. We actually introduced cats to this one. The cat was out of the bag and we had this cute cat coming out of the brown paper bag. That's when you can use a cat, and it worked really well. But they had a really high abandoned shopping cart, and we started advertising to people that added to cart that didn't check out with, hey, see you left your shopping behind. Your cart is waiting for you. If it's too difficult, whatever else, because there's several reasons why people abandon shopping cart. Number one reason is extra charges, but sometimes they find it a little too difficult. If you have an e-commerce store, go through your shopping process yourself on a mobile and see how easy or hard it is. But we want to advertise to people, show them the benefit of the product to get them to come back. Just give you some examples. Took action. So if someone buys my Marathon Girl running top, get $100 off a marathon training program designed specifically for the busy marathon girl. Guess how much it cost me to supply this product to them, the training program? Nothing now, no. Good little upsell or side sell. If they don't take action, so they don't buy, I tell them they've got the last chance, free shipping till Sunday. I was lucky enough, not last year, the year before, to share the stage with Richard Branson at a real estate training event. We ran some remarketing ads. In fact, Glenn Twiddle runs these big events throughout Australia. Richard Branson's event clashed with one of his other events, but Richard gave him the date and he wasn't going to say no, as you wouldn't. So we could only advertise a week and a half out from this event to fill it. So we used some really good remarketing strategies, but the first one was want to spend time with Richard Branson. He's coming to Australia next week. We had to say last minute tickets are still available, and then here was the result of it actually. A couple of weeks ago I was host to Richard Branson at one of my events. I had 1,000 people attend. The reason I'm able to get these sorts of numbers is the help I've had from Kerry in my Facebook marketing. She handled all of it for me. Her Facebook skills were beyond good. Thank you, Glenn. The remarketing strategies were incredible. So his cost per conversion from remarketing dropped by over 80%. So it was $97 to $197 usually to get someone in. It dropped to $17 to $20 once we remarketed to them to get someone to come back to the seminar. So a huge drop. This was the remarketing ad. The reason why this worked well, did life get in the way? Our spies tell us you were checking out our Titans of Real Estate event page but didn't register. Here's your last chance. The reason why this worked well, because some people go, that's a bit stalky and freaky. Yes, it is. It's real estate agents. They're seeing that, wait a minute, you know that we went to your registration page? Ooh, that's good marketing. And they loved it. And it made them take action because they actually wanted to find out how to do this strategy themselves. And, of course, see Richard. He was second part. Oh, he made over $500,000 from this event, by the way. Step 7, really quickly, is once you've done all that, you sell stuff. And you do it by remarketing to your custom audiences. So here's Nick. He has a motorcycle store. Ad costs dropped 23% after remarketing to his website audience, dropped a further 62% after remarketing to his shopping cart abandons. He had a high, or he had stock standard shopping cart abandonments. Facebook ads now cost 1/10 of Google AdWords. His monthly income went up 46% in the first 4 weeks, and it doubled after he started remarketing. And I think that's it. Oh no, we've got the, what one was that one? Andrew and Daryl Grant that I was telling you about before were asked to promote a copywriter, Brett Thompson, his new launch. They weren't able to send it out to their email list because it clashed with another event they were promoting, so they didn't want to confuse their email list. So we just ran remarketing ads to a custom audience, so to the database and to the lookalike audience, just to show you the results here, and they're really hard to see. But the database, we ended up with 85 at $1.76 per opt-in to grab the special launch, and the lookalike audience was 27 and it will cost $5.56. But basically there was 112 new leads in 4 days just using that Facebook remarketing, and they made that $4,200 profit from that. And through there, they did their remarketing campaign that I told you about from the start, but just to show you the stats here again, this is the lookalike audience. So it's $30 to get a sale, right down to $4 for a website audience, database, and the website audience was $4.44. But what I want to show you here, overall it was $6 per action. It was costing them at Google AdWords, he was happy at anything between $80 and $110 to get a sale. And we were able to drop it down to $4, because that's what he was doing with Google. So you spent $300, made $15,000.
Well done.